loud. That's what I've got to do. Okay, hi everybody. Today we have a guest. We have, I hope I say your name correctly, Andy. Andy Adeleye.
That's perfect.
Did I do it? So I'm going to turn the meeting over to you. Andy is with a warranty program who has just agreed to work with us. I am a big advocate for warranty programs. So take notes, and this is recorded. So Andy, go ahead, introduce yourself and take over.
Thank you. I really appreciate that fantastic intro. Of course, I'm Andy. I am the home warranty guy. I'm with a company called America's Preferred Home Warranty. We are the only home warranty company around that lets the homeowner choose their own licensed contractor for all covered repairs. And that's big time industry. So for those of us on the call, how familiar are you all with warranty just far? Do you all use it at all?
Have you heard anything about them? I will tell you,
Right.
This is a new group of agents,
Okay.
brandy new. So their knowledge of warranty would be mostly not professional. It wouldn't be from a professional point of view.
Okay, no, not a problem. But at the very least, are you all aware of what it is just yet? I'm just trying to figure out how we should be going about this conversation. Not just yet.
I'm not sure what it is.
Not sure.
I've heard of it. We've spoken about it, but it's always good to review it when you haven't used it.
Got you. Okay. So I'm sure you all are also aware of home insurance, right? So home insurance covers catastrophic things such as fire, water, flood to the house and the structure of the house. Home warranty more or less covers items that fail due to normal wear and tear. So it's a different way of covering items than home insurance. So instead of covering the structure like home insurance does, home warranty covers the items and the mechanicals in the house that makes the home comfortable to live in.
Mm-hmm.
So like your air conditioning systems, your heating systems, your kitchen appliances, your roof if it leaks, septic systems, water well pumps, water heater.
Now, you don't cover all aspects. You just cover aspects of the septic. Is that correct?
So for the septic, we cover things like the sewage ejector pump and things like that. So it's like you said, it's not all aspects of the septic system, but we'll actually go into detail of what it does cover and what it doesn't cover as well.
Your application must make it pretty clear. All right, so after this session, I'd love for you to email me the application, which I will then forward to the attendees so that they understand it, okay? And they can read. There's a lot of caveats, guys, and I don't want you going in and representing, hey, it covers this, it covers that. But I do want you to go in and say, listen, it's possible that this stuff could be covered. And I didn't mean to take over the microphone from you, but I just need to give you some caveats and just know that I think they're well worth. I've heard so many stories. Do you cover hot water heater replacements, correct?
We do cover hot water heater.
I mean, what's the average cost of a hot water heater? Anybody know?
$1,000.
I just replaced one for $1,700.
Wow.
Okay. Now, not all of them are that expensive, and how much does the warranty program cost, Andy?
So for the cost of the warranty program for a single family house, it's only $425 for a full year of coverage.
I could have gotten 4 hot water heaters. I could have shared the hot water heater. Okay. Yeah, that's amazing. I will tell you, that's a very good price. And is there a limit on the size of the house? I know some of the warranty programs I've been involved with that once the house is over 3,500 square feet, there's an additional charge.
Oh, no, there's no square footage limits. There's no additional costs based on the size of the house. They could have a tiny home or a mansion. It's actually all the same price for the coverage.
I'll tell you another feature I hope you don't mind, Andy, but one of the features I love when you go on a listing appointment and you talk about your team, essentially, mortgage, attorney, all those people who help you get to closing, which means you're helping your seller and or buyer get to closing. One of the people I want you to include is Andrew, because in a listing, your company, correct me if I'm wrong, offers premium free coverage during the term of the listing, which means the premium is not paid till closing. Is that correct?
The premium is not paid until closing, correct?
So if they have a claim during the term of the listing, even though they've not paid a premium and it's a covered item, is there a fee?
The seller can get coverage on that item during the listing. So
Well, is there a fee?
there's a deductible minus the claim approved amount. However, they still don't have to pay for the physical premium of the warranty until the house closes.
And what is that deductible?
At the $425 option, it's
Yes.
$100 for the deductible.
How much?
$100 for the deductible.
Okay. By the way, guys, that's standard. If anything, it's a little below standard. But that's all they pay. Like if my hot water heater had broken and I had had a warranty program in effect, which would have cost, what'd you say, $4 1/4?
$1.25.
Okay, all I would have to pay would be the $100. And let me ask you, if I have premium free coverage on for the term of the listing, and for some reason the listing doesn't sell, then what happens, Andrew?
So if the listing doesn't sell, then the seller does not have to pay for the warranty premium. So it's a no-brainer for the seller,
Mhm.
home warranty on the listing for a couple of reasons. One, they get coverage during the listing period. So if something happens to an approved item, then we can approve claims on that. Two, when a home warranty is on a listing, the listing sells for more money in a shorter amount of time. The exact amount, national average, is an additional $2,300 and 11 days less on market. So in other words, it always sells for more money in a shorter amount of time on average. Also, it helps to prevent the buyer from having a negotiation standpoint after home inspection, because a lot of times what happens after the buyer does a home inspection, they start asking for stuff, start saying, hey, my home inspector told me that the roof is a little old. They use terms like past its life expectancy or end of life. And so once they start saying stuff like that to the seller's agent, AKA you in that scenario, they might ask for money off of the total price from the house after the home inspection is done.
Mhm.
So if the warranty is on the listing, you can then take the negotiation stance of, hey, we're not going to give you that 10 or we're not going to give you that $15,000 concession because the house is priced correctly based on its condition. And on top of that, we will be giving your client, your buyer, a home warranty at closing, which has coverage in the instance of a systems failure for those items that you're concerned with. That roofing leak that you're concerned might happen, it's got coverage for that. The septic system that you're concerned with, it's got coverage for that. The heating system, the water heater, the AC system, those items that you're concerned with, the home warranty has coverage for that. And that's how you protect the
Yeah.
sale price of the house.
Now, I'd like to, if you don't mind my jumping in, when you are working with buyers and the home inspection report comes out, like Andy was saying, that, hot water heater, furnace, whatever, at the end of its useful life expectancy, rather than going back and forth, as Andy was saying, just have the seller pay for a home warranty. In fact, even before you get to, maybe as part of presenting your offer, depending on the landscape, whether there's a lot of offers going in, but under additional contractual provisions, you can put in seller to pay for, you name the warranty company, basic plan of the home warranty program.
Excuse me, Patty.
Yeah.
So you have a listing, you ask your seller to purchase the warranty program.
Mhm.
It's not due until closing. And then
Payment, the payment.
yes, and then the buyer has this warranty for a whole year.
Correct. So
Okay.
let's say we get a listing today, Nancy, and then it lasts for 6 months or a year.
Mm-hmm.
This market is probably going to last 45 days, but for all intents and purposes, let's say it lasts a year. The buyer would still have home warranty coverage at closing to begin 1 year of coverage for the buyer, no matter how long the listing period was.
Good point.
Okay. But
Good
what if
point.
something breaks within that year?
If something breaks within that year, we can, if it's an approved item, we can pay a claim out on that. And then the seller would pay for the warranty premium at closing.
Okay.
Just make it very clear, guys, if you are going to use the warranty program, when you are presenting an offer on behalf of a buyer, that it's very clear who is, if you're expecting the seller to pay for it, that it says that clearly under additional contractual provisions, and that it's the basic level. And maybe even put a price down. Okay. For many a
So-
seller, they'll jump at it,
Yeah.
knowing it will relax buyers regarding aging hot water heaters, furnaces, air conditioner compressors. One caveat, and this is a true story. If you talk about the program to one buyer, I want you to talk to all your buyers about it. Same with your sellers. This is kind of a legal bent on it. If you're going to talk to one seller about a warranty program, at least mention it to the others. And I'm not saying who's paying for what, but if you bring up, hey, there is such a thing as a home warranty, and this is how it can protect you, buyer or seller. The real story is an agent had presented to the buyer that there was such a thing as a warranty program, and the buyer refused, just wasn't interested, maybe didn't know enough about it, moved into the house, and literally a month later, the air conditioner compressor went. And he told the agent, and the agent said, I talked to you about the warranty program. I'm really sorry. Okay. So that's the kind of stuff.
I wish I knew about that when I moved into my house, because
There you
something
go.
very similar happened and nobody mentioned any type of warranty to me.
There you go. You have a story.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Can I'm sorry.
Please. Go.
I just want to know, so it's $425 a year with $100 deductible. Are there different than levels? Is there, like an ABC that if there's, at a higher cost that you offer, there are different packages with not different companies, but within a company that it offers you, this versus just basic, or is it just?
So we only have one type of coverage, but we
Okay.
have 2 price points for that same standard coverage. So the standard coverage is either $425 or $460. At the $425 option, it's a $100 deductible. And at the $460 option, it's a $50 deductible. So it's a slightly higher premium for a slightly lower deductible.
Do you have addendums for swimming pools or cabanas?
We do. Let me share my screen.
I think I have to make you a co-host,
Okay.
and I'm on a new computer. Okay.
I have to hover over my name on my face.
There you go. Got it.
Okay.
Make host. Doesn't say co-host. You better give it back to me. Andy, you gonna give it back to me?
I will give you the host.
Okay,
All
there you
right,
go.
let's see. Let me, bear with me here. I'm going to open up this document.
And be sure to email me the application. That's very informative.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, do people have questions for Andy? This is your time. And Andy, if you would put your contact information in the chat box.
Sure.
I have a question.
I've got several questions written down, but since you started talking first, Shell, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Mine is a simple question. So when we're going to put together our buyer's presentation and our listing presentation, the pre-listing presentation, is this something that we should put in so that we make sure that we speak to every buyer and seller regarding it?
Legally, yes.
What do you mean legally? Yes.
Well, yes, if you're going to present to one, you want to present to all.
But it is something we can put into both of those presentations.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
So, and just to give you all kind of like an interesting national statistic, you know how a couple of us on the call were saying how when we first moved into our homes, or we've had clients that when they first moved into their homes had a systems failure. Actually, the first home I purchased, I've had systems failures in the air conditioning system every summer. So, and truth be told, my agent didn't tell me about, this was 10 years ago. My agent didn't tell me about a home warranty. I actually didn't know about what a home warranty was until about 3 or 4 years ago when this company called me for an interview, truth be told. And I was a little irritated with my agent because I had been repairing my air conditioning system every summer, and then eventually it had to be replaced. So I was out about $7,000 or $8,000. And I know if I had a home warranty, I wouldn't have had to pay that much money. But my agent did not speak to me about that. I had no clue until I learned from this company what a home warranty was. So interesting to statistic is that 70% of your buyers have a systems failure in the first 90 days after moving into the house. 70%. So if they don't have a home warranty, then they're much less likely to be happy with their home purchase. And that's going to reflect negatively on the agent because they're not going to feel more adept to referring to their family and friends, versus if they have coverage when that bad situation happens. Like, let's say they wake up on a Saturday morning and they walk into the basement with their house slippers on and they walk into 3 inches of cold water in their basement. That's what we call in the home warranty business a highly emotional situation. Though your client gets very irritated at that moment. And the first thing they think of is, how is this happening to me at this house? My agent knew about this. I'm sure they did. Why didn't they tell me? That's
Yeah,
what
and then they come after you. Yeah. Andy, let me ask you a question. Is it the premium the same for sellers and buyers?
So let's go to the listings first. So the seller coverage plan for the 425, they get the standard. And for 500, they get the seller's preferred upgrade. I would always just go with the 500 just to be sure.
Okay. And then optional coverage. That's great. That's great. Okay. Wow, this is a really good flyer, guys. And this is one piece that kind of says it all, Andy, right?
Can
So
you
you-
attach this flyer when you send the application to Patty?
Matter of fact, I don't know if all of you have access to this group chat, but I can put the file in the group chat. Do you all have access to the group chat here?
They should.
Yes.
Yeah.
They should. And
I'll see if I can do that by the end of the
Okay.
meeting.
But you'll still send it to me, please, along with the application?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
this flyer and the application, and I'll make sure everybody gets it.
Okay. Now, one thing I wanted to clarify, that if the seller has the preferred upgrade and they have a claim, but the house doesn't sell, they will have to pay the $75.
I just had a quick question. I'm sorry if I really
No, it's okay.
misunderstood. What if, so the inspection, they say the roof usually lasts 20 years and there's a year left on the roof. Can they still buy the warranty if it's so old?
So let me show you something really cool. So page 3 is your cheat
Really
sheet.
familiar with warranties. This is really the first exposure.
No, it's okay. So page 3 is your cheat sheet,
Okay.
covered, and what parts of them are covered. So you see here that roof is a covered item, right?
Yes.
So if the item is working at closing, and it's covered if it's a covered item.
Mm-hmm.
So even if the home inspector says this roof is end of life and it will need replacing soon, but as of today, it's operational,
Mm-hmm.
covered item for the roof.
I don't understand. I'm sorry. I'm so confused why anybody would not buy this then. It's,
Well, Andy, let me ask you, do you mean to say that the roof would the leak, a future leak would be repaired, or the full roof would be replaced?
that's what I thought I replaced, or no.
So we're not the ones who are going to mandate that, because homeowner choose their own licensed contractor, right? So when it comes to the recommendation of whether it needs to be repaired or replaced, that falls on the contractor that the homeowner chooses. We just focus on paying the claims. So if it's a covered item like a roofing leak after the sale of the home, and the contractor says, hey, you need a roofing repair because there was a leak, but the roof was not leaking at closing, then that could be a covered item.
But just the repair of where the leak is?
Correct. So if
Yeah.
roofing replacement is not something that
Yeah.
that we do
Just-
personally, like
yeah.
we cover roofing leaks. So if the whole system needs to be replaced, we could give the amount for the repair of the roofing leak. But that's one specific item.
Okay.
See, it's like a 15 or 20 square roof, and there's a leak in it, and the contractor says, hey, you need to get that replaced. Then the claims rep can give the approved claim payout for the repair towards
Yeah.
the replacement.
Andy, in the interest of time, does anybody have any questions? Because we will need to move on. This is a great presentation and great support material. I can only stress, do not represent, yes, this will be covered, no, this won't be covered. That's not your job. That would be Andy's job. All you do is give information and say, if your seller or buyer have questions, refer them to Andy or the number that's on their contract. Okay?
So also, I'm sorry, there was an additional question?
Yeah, I was going to ask you to go back to that cheat sheet page.
Oh, sure. And by the way, Cheryl, I am going to be uploading this into the Zoom chat.
Yeah, no, I had a question regarding what was, and I can't remember how it was worded. So I just don't.
Oh, and by the way, we will be having an additional new agent orientation class specifically for home warranty on the 21st at 10 a.m. So if you all would like to attend that, I will be able to forward you that link as
You know what? I don't know if it's on this page now. Can you go below?
Sure. Which one was it specifically,
It
Cheryl?
was in a list. It had a bullet point in front of it, and I just didn't know what it meant. So maybe it wasn't here. Maybe go back.
Oh, it had a bullet point in front of it. That's
Yeah.
on page 10.
Was the very first bullet point, and it didn't make, I didn't know what it was. right there. What's list secure?
So List Secure is also an interesting function that America's Preferred is its signature to America's Preferred home warranty. So when the home warranty is on a listing, the seller actually has up to $1,000 of legal coverage in case the buyer ever sues the seller for any reason at all, up to 2 years post sale. We are allowed to give up to $1,000 of legal coverage towards the cost of their attorney to basically
Wow.
defend them against the lawsuit with the buyer.
Perfect. That's nice.
And,
Thanks for asking that question, Cheryl. I didn't catch that. So
and
are
last
there
but not least,
any other questions for Andy?
I have a few, and my Wi-Fi cut out before, so I don't know
Okay.
if I can say that or not. So I'll rapid fire these, and if you forget what I asked, just let me know. So I hear you mention the term approved item. So I'm wondering what an unapproved item might be. My second question is for if it's for listing a house, how fast does that warranty become active once the purchase is made? And another question was based on warranties for appliances on like a new house. When I bought my current house, I bought it brand new. And when I had a problem with my refrigerator, you know, per the serial number lookup, I found out that it was purchased in 2012, but I bought the house in 2017. So my warranty on that appliance was active as per the manufacturer as of 2017, not 2012 when it was built. So does that differ between new houses and older houses? And then the price of $425 or $500 with the additional $75, is that for the first year only, or does it continue if I want to repeat that from the second year to the third year and on? And then, yeah, someone else said it too, said too good to be true. Why doesn't everybody do it? And I have a lot of experience with warranty companies in the past. And, you know, when the message gets delivered improperly, the word warranty, people hate it. I know that because warranties have a bad name just in the word itself, not necessarily the program. But because $400 or $500 seems pretty small in the big scheme of the house. So,
yeah.
and I know you have to be the master of hearing the objections. So I was wondering what, you know.
Yeah,
what,
Andy, if I could just jump in, most of the items that are not covered are pretty clearly stated in the paperwork that Andy's going to send to us.
okay.
Okay, as far as how quickly does the warranty take effect, that's real important, Andy. If it's sent over either like via email, does it take effect within 24 hours or?
So to clarify, and by the way, thanks for giving me those questions. That was a lot of questions, but we'll get those done for you, Pete. So
Thanks.
If you activate policy for the seller, just to activate it, it's active immediately, right? So if you call it in or you email it over, as soon as they enter it in the system, active. At closing, the warranty is active immediately for the buyer. So if they had an approved claim a couple days after moving in, would be something we could pay out on. Even a day after. A lot of other home warranties have a 30-day waiting period. We don't have that. The only thing that has to wait 30 days for coverage, the only two line items are water well pump and septic. Everything else goes into water well pump and septic have a 30-day waiting period at closing to begin getting coverage. Everything else immediate at closing. And I think you said, why wouldn't someone get a home warranty? Well,
that's what Andy wants to know.
yeah, I guess the number one reason is they don't know about it.
Yeah, they're not educated. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows about home insurance. Why? Because it's mandatory if you have a mortgage. However, you only hear about home warranty if your agent cares about you.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, out in California, out in the West Coast, almost all transactions involve a warranty. For some reason, there's resistance here in the East. I don't understand it because I think it's a great concept, a great product. But yeah. Any other questions for Andy?
I have a question. So it's 425 or 460, but then it goes up if you have a pool, a
Yes,
fireplace, or all those other items that. in
those
that.
are a la carte. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And last but not least, I wanted to make this point. This is huge for you, especially if you're a new agent. E&O deductible. If someone files a E&O claim on you, AKA errors and omission, this happens. So if someone files an E&O claim on you, if you sell the home warranty to them or they sign this waiver saying that they don't want the policy, we will then cover 75% up to 75% of your E&O deductible up to a year post-sale. So I'll give you a short example of an E&O claim that I've witnessed it. So agent sold a house. A couple months after the agent sold the house, the buyer moved in, wanted to remodel the basement. They began ripping up carpet and found a crack in the foundation. E&O claim. That's called errors and omissions. The buyer claimed in the claim that the buyer's agent did not disclose to them that there was a crack in the foundation of the home, even though it was under carpet and there was no way for anyone to know that that was there. That was an errors and omissions claim. So if they had had the warranty sold on that property to the buyer, or if they had it waived because the buyer didn't want it, then we would have paid 75% of their E&O deductible up to $3,750. So this is why when you're offering it to all of your clients, selling it is great, but also please make sure that you have them sign the waiver if they don't want it, because that just gives you an extra layer of risk management for your business, especially as you're starting out and you might make an error here or there. So just to protect yourself, you want this.
All right, Andy, thank you very much. Any other questions for Andy?
I've got one final one. So if we sell like 100 of these, do I get like a bicycle or something? Or is this
I think that's
strictly
called a
just,
conflict.
is that strictly
Okay.
just for the customers?
So your market center is going to give you $50 for every home that you sell and submit a data collection form for.
I was just double checking. That's always on my mind. I felt like it was there someplace.
No, I mean, you're right. You got agents who are selling 100 of these and they want.
Okay.
You know.
Stacy, you have a question?
And is is the pricing still the same if it's not a newly purchased home?
Oh, that was another question that I didn't get to. I'm sorry about that, Pete. But Stacy, you're right. New construction properties that are just built, they cost $550 for 3 years of coverage. Coverage for a new construction property starts day 1 of year 2 and goes until the end of year 4. So Pete, you were giving the example about that new construction property that had the manufacturer's warranty. So typically with a new construction property, manufacturer's warranty goes into play for 1 year for the appliances. And that's why we come day 1 of year 2 to begin for coverage. And it goes for 3 years.
Wait, so you said, I'm sorry, Andrew, you said new construction is $550 for 3 years, but it goes into effect year
Day
2?
1. That's right, Leslie.
Okay.
Goes into effect when?
Day 1
day
of year
1.
2.
Okay,
Correct.
day 1 of year 2. Okay. Last question is going to be mine. Or Stacy, did you have another question?
Oh, no, that's it.
Okay. Last question. What about the agents? Can they get coverage? Can they buy a warranty for their current home?
Absolutely.
You know, we're taking care of our buyers and sellers. What about ourselves?
That pricing is still the same?
Well, if you're going through so I'm the real estate department guy, right, for North Jersey. So we have different sections, different departments in the company. So if you're going through a real estate transaction, then I handle that as far as on the sales end. But if you're going through a situation where you have a house already and you're not going through a real estate transaction, we have another department. That's called the direct to consumer department. So obviously we would love to have that business as well. If you all do want a home warranty, feel free to contact me, and I'll be able to point you in the right direction with the direct-to-consumer department.
I'm really sorry. Can I sneak in one final question?
Oh,
Yeah, and Andy, did you give me a host again, please?
You're not the
Oh.
host.
Let me go ahead and do that.
So let's say we're talking to somebody about putting a home warranty on the house, buyer or seller, and they have additional questions. Do you offer support? Like if we said, hey, I feel like you've answered everything, but do you want to talk to the expert, the guy? Is there like somebody that we can bring in, like, and you can just sort of wingman it, or you or someone to help us close that?
So I try to keep that to a minimum, but there have been situations that I do that for agents. So the answer is no, but yes.
I got you.
So if they want to speak to somebody, I would always recommend the 800 number, option 3, because there's never a wait in line.
Okay.
Whereas with me, obviously, I do meetings like this, and I might, you know, when you're dealing with clients, they want an answer right now. You know, so if they want to call somebody on their own time, 24, by the way, we're 24 hours a day, 360.
Wow.
So if they have a question at 2 a.m. and they feel like they want to pick up the phone and call, they could call the 800 number, option 3. They will not wait in line, and there will be somebody to talk to them immediately.
That's important.
Yes, our call center is out in Michigan, and there's always, it's funny because before everything happened with COVID, all of our couple hundred reps would be in the corporate office, right? But now everybody works from home. So it doesn't matter what time of day, it could be any holiday. We're 24/7. They can always speak to somebody right away. So it's the 800 number, option 3. They will always speak to somebody. But when it comes to questions, if you feel like you want to call me, I will always talk with you all as well, because technically the agents are my clients and your clients are my clients as well, but directly the agents are my clients. I'm more of a business to business sales manager.
Okay.
But we do give as much training as possible to make sure that when those questions do come up, I always like to tell my agents to just refer them to the brochure.
Yep,
Read
exactly.
what's covered and not covered. That's your cheat sheet.
Yeah, don't get yourselves in trouble, guys, by representing that something's definitely covered. Just don't do that. But make sure everybody gets the information.
Right. So if they say, well, what's covered and what's not covered? Oh, no worries. It's on page 3 because
Yep.
it is.
Okay.
And so I would just recommend that.
Okay.
And I'm obviously here for you all if you have questions as well. Text, email, phone calls. I work 7 days a week. If I'm not in a meeting, I'll answer the call.
We're going to try to get you off that 7 days a week. That's not good. But you're going to forward me everything, the flyer and the application, and in that will be all of your contact information, correct?
Yes.
Thank
And
you. Andy,
entering-
thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem. And
You're
I'm
welcome
putting-
to stay on the call. We're just going to be chatting.
Okay, I'm
So,
putting the file in the
Thank
chat
you.
box right now.
okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
No, I need it emailed to me. It makes it easier for me to forward it, please.
Not a problem.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, then I can forward it to those on the call. So, okay, Andy, thank you. And I hope this is good stuff, guys. This gives you something else. This gives you another arrow in your quiver to offer your clients. So good stuff. All right. I have actually a couple questions for you. How are things going with script practice with John Genovese on Tuesdays and Thursdays?
love him. Love, love, love him.
Yeah, his energy is really,
So good.
yeah.
He's just got a gentler way about his scripts. He comes really from a point of caring, which is.
Yes, he does. He's
Yeah,
a
and
very-
that's falls more in line with how I would like to present it. Although, you know, it's nice to have all the different scripts and be able to use pieces of them here and there, whatever fits for whatever phone call you have. but I love John's class.
Yeah,
I think
good.
everybody should be on it.
I'm just surprised people don't take advantage of it, but yeah, please, that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9:30 to 10:30. Okay,
How do
It's
I
a
get
small
that
class.
link?
okay, it has been mailed, but I'll get it to you again.
It's also in the training schedule.
Yeah. The daily update with Colleen. that
No,
you
it's
get from
also in the
Colleen.
other training schedule, the one on kwvalley.info.
That info. Yeah. So you can go there and get it. And I think it's also on the links that come through every day.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so there's your link. Just click and get on it. And then after John's class is Push with David. And that's from 11 to 1:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. How's that going?
Oh, I love it. It's one of my favorite
Great.
classes.
That's what I want to hear. Good.
Yep, it's
Good.
great.
There's all this stuff for you guys. And on my sessions, I like bringing in experts. I brought in Andy. I've got Cheryl Cooper lined up. Cheryl is coming, I think, next Thursday, and she's going to do prospecting and pricing, 2 Ps. Her choice, so she'll be really good. And for those of you, Cheryl joined us from another company. She is so thrilled to be here. She's a top producer, Cheryl Cooper.
So I just had a quick comment about, I missed John's class yesterday because I was doing lead gen, but I feel like overall I'm getting scripted out. I have Ignite scripts, I have Push scripts, and then to throw in there John's scripts, and I feel like I'm starting to get overwhelmed of choosing. It's all similar. I'm sorry. My
Well,
kid,
it's up to you to pace yourself.
yeah, that's
And
what,
if you
I don't
find
think-
you need to maybe go to one and not the other,
yeah.
but just know that you still owe it to your business to take advantage of all the resources.
No,
Yeah.
of course. I just feel like, okay, I need to concentrate on Hal's class and Push, and then when that's over, maybe here and there add John's class, but I feel like it's just too much for me.
Well, then that's a personal decision.
Can I interject something since I'm taking John's class, Stella?
Uh-huh.
So much of his class is not scripting. Like he made an actual phone call with all of us on the phone.
Oh,
to a
wow.
prospective listing. He is going to make phone calls to prospective buyers, so we can hear his script and how he delivers it. So we don't really like practice like we do in David's class, and we don't practice like we did in Hal's class.
I'm getting a little overwhelmed between the
You
two.
won't. John just comes from a totally different place, and it's his stories and how he got places. And his scripting right now is only sphere of influence, and it's the care phone calls.
And there's so many scripts to choose from. Maybe that's part of your being overwhelmed. I think expose yourself to the scripts, select the ones you like best, and work on those, and just put the others aside for now, that at a later date they may prove to be useful.
I have like it's homework assignments, and I'm thinking myself, okay, I can't give my 100% if I'm doing homework here or there, and then I'm not practicing.
And
Well-
John doesn't give homework.
Technically, Ignite should precede Push.
I see. Okay, so I didn't know that part. That's
Okay.
that makes a little
Okay.
bit more sense, actually.
That's why these sessions are good. We get to chat. Things
Okay.
that maybe I haven't made clear, hopefully
Actually,
become clear.
Just to take that further, what Stella was mentioning, I've of course been around a short time, very short time, but I think I'm just overwhelmed with the number of trainings there are, the lot of trainings. So this is like, what comes first? What comes second?
Okay, what comes first is register for the board, join the MLS, because Hal would like you to be in the MLS before Ignite. It's not required, but it's a more robust training if you're in the MLS, because then you can do more of the activities. Once you finish Ignite, then go to Push. Meanwhile, John Genovese's classes, they're only an hour on Tuesday and an hour on Thursday. Attend those. So once you get going, you've got Ignite Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 3 hours, and John Genovese, do him once you finish it, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays. Once you finish Ignite, then plug into Push, which would mean your Tuesdays would be 9:30 to 10:30 with John, 11 to 1:30 with David.
Okay, because David is saying that I should be on the lead gen call with Sally at 9:30. And that's why I'm like, where do I go? Who am I?
Well, you stay with what you've, I mean, you're welcome to do anything,
Yeah,
but
no,
if there's a 9:30 lead gen on a day that you either have Ignite or you have John Genovese, I'm going to tell you Ignite and John Genovese,
Okay,
depending on
perfect.
which day it is.
yeah,
Patty,
Yes.
Yeah, so basically what we're saying is around 15 to 18 hours of training a week. Is that fair?
And, you know, we don't mandate anything. Some agents, you know, you're going to have to find your own barometer. And I don't know what other responsibilities each of you have. All I know is our job to make available for you as much training as you need. And if you have to minimize that in any way and then circle back, then do that.
That's
It
what
is
I did.
Right.
flexible. Yeah, it's
But-
very flexible. I also encourage you to, there are going to be times you're going to want to go circle back to a class you've had on Ignite. Ignite is foundational. It's not just beginning.
Patty.
So ideally, if
I-
I was to do
Somebody
everything,
keeps trying to ask a question, so if you would please go ahead. You start by saying Patty. Who is
Yeah,
it?
it's Leslie.
Okay, okay.
Sorry, so I'm obviously probably the newest newbie on this
Okay.
call. Haven't gotten the welcome email yet, so I assume that's why I don't have the links for any of the other Zooms. The only, link that I got was yours, which you said that, your classes are Mondays at a certain time, Tuesday at a certain time, Wednesday, Thursday at a certain time. So I'm assuming that I'll be receiving all of this information in the welcome email.
No, what's going to happen is every day there should be, and for some reason I have not gotten it the last 2 days, but I forward it, an email that I get from Colleen. In that email is a whole bunch of information, plus the daily classes and the appropriate links.
Okay.
If it is a Zoom link, hop on. If it's a KW Connect, you have to wait till you're in the system.
Okay. So I haven't received any of that, so I just have to be patient and,
Hopefully you'll get it tomorrow.
okay.
Hey, Patty, I just wanted to say goodbye to everybody before I jumped off the call. I wanted to be polite.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate
Bye,
it.
everybody.
Andy,
Bye,
thanks.
thank
email
you.
any more
you.
questions.
Thanks, Andy.
So
Okay,
Patty,
thank you.
can
Yes,
I address Stella a second? Where did she go?
Yeah. she's there.
Hey,
I'm
Stella.
here. It's just I'm in a house full of chaos. My kids are virtually learning and literally screaming. I'm in a class.
So this is what happened, and I was kind of confused with everything in the beginning too. What happens when we go into those programs is David and Hal, they don't really know, Ridgewood's going to get different scheduling and training sessions than we're going to get. And Parkview doesn't, City Views, they may get something totally different. So it's like, we have to look at what's on our training schedule and then kind of fill in where else you think you want to take something.
That makes
And
sense.
David
It makes sense now because he keeps saying you should. Why is anybody not on Sally's lead gen? I'm like,
Right, because Sally's not our broker. Sally's not our broker. So you should be, we can go into anything we want there, but you could follow our training program on our training schedule.
and I
and
usually do. It's just when he keeps saying that, I'm like, am I
It's
supposed
because he doesn't know which market center you're in.
Okay.
Yeah, and he probably shouldn't be saying that, but anyway, let's go.
I just
I
didn't
mean,
want her to be
but
any more
just,
confused.
yeah,
I have one
understand.
quick question, Patty.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I want to know, then you said first to sign on for the board and the NJMLS. I still haven't received links to sign on. I got
It's possibly because your license hasn't been processed yet.
no, Patty, I got my license. I got my welcome email.
That's right. Okay. And then you should be getting an email from the MLS and an email from from the board.
It's been 5 days. I don't have it as yet.
Okay, then I'm going to tell you to call them.
And would you be able to share like where I should call them?
You ready to write it down? You're going to call the board because you must register for them first. It's 201-444-3100.
201-444.
3100.
Okay.
And you might just find it better to go on greaterbergenrealtors.com, see if you can't register that way, because they don't seem to be picking up their phones. They're overwhelmed.
So
They're
Greater
overwhelmed.
Bergen, sorry, Greater Bergen
Realtors.com,
Realtors.com. And what about for NJMLS?
201
Yeah,
387
yeah,
1150.
okay.
And you can also go on to NewJerseyMLS.com, and without a password, go to join MLS, and there'll be an orientation schedule there and possibly a link. They're a little better at answering their phones than the board. The board is truly overwhelmed. We're not
Okay.
getting a lot of information from them either when we need it.
Got it. And so I can just sign on and join over there and
Know that you must register for GBAR before they will allow you to register for the MLS. I'm going to refer you back to things to do while you wait for your license. Just keep reading that, because as you move along, things will become more relevant on that page.
okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Did you have any other questions?
I do.
Go ahead.
Sorry. So the home warranty, we've always been told not to get ourselves pigeonholed into giving one person and saying, oh, this is who you should use. So what other home warranty companies do we work with that?
Yeah, we have two others. We have two
Okay.
others. I think one is homewarranty.com, HWA. Can you see me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can't read the number on there, but I can see it. Okay.
It's 888-492-7359.
Is there anyone in particular we should ask for to get their information? No?
No,
Okay.
no. Okay. All right. So good. Andy took more time than I thought he would, but he was good. He
Mhm.
was good. Was it helpful?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know, when I joined Keller Williams, the regional said to me, isn't it like drinking from a fire hose? And I'm like, you think that's funny? That's not funny. But yeah, that's what you're feeling, guys. And the dust will start to settle. It will. And that's why God invented alcohol too. So, okay. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to end. Somebody saying something. Stella, is that you?
I'm sorry, I would say my issue is, sometimes I get overwhelmed and I forget I should just ask you the question instead of waiting until I'm overwhelmed with it all to ask.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
And understand, guys, we're here for you. If you need to slow the pace, that's not a sin. Just know that you still owe it to yourself.
I just, with the kids homeschooling,
Yeah.
I can't even, some days, I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. Deep breath, glass of wine. And I'm going to end with this video, which happens to be one of my favorite. So when it's over, we can hang up. All right. But enjoy it. It's from Simple Truths. Whoops. Wait a minute. Can you all hear it? I think not.
It was a little quiet, but I could hear it.
No, I didn't do something. Have to click share sound. I always forget that. It's like, okay, you ready?
That was good.
Love it.
Nice. Yeah, simple truths. Every once in a while, we all need to be grounded. I do share with you in the morning the inspirations that I get.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
I got that today. That was great.
Yeah,
That was
when
helpful.
appropriate. If sometimes they're not, I'm like, yeah, I'm not sharing that. But I try to do that. And I should, every day I try, for those of you who are not yet in the system, send the schedule of classes before 9:10 so that you can get on something. Okay, I think today was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Thursdays, I'm going to try to work a little bit more with command and technology. So tomorrow, 2:00, I'm going to try to get Laura to show you how to do opportunities in command. All right. By the way, last week we did, I think it was last week, we did your vision board, your goals, your GPS, your 411, and your time blocking. How are you doing with Me Inc., what you owe yourself every day?
Well, I've got some time blocking in.
All right.
But
Okay, that's a
I think
step.
that really made a big difference, just to make sure that everything's got a time. And this is when I'm going to do this, and this is when I'm going to do that. Still
That's
feeling
exactly-
overwhelmed, like, everyone else, but it does help to put it in perspective a little bit.
Yeah. It helps, and we'll do it again. We'll go around in circles, but we still have a lot of stuff we have yet to do. There's a lot to learn. Go at your pace. Do not beat yourself up. This is not the tyranny of the shoulds. Okay. I remember a professor telling me that once about the tyranny of the shoulds. This isn't it, guys. Go at your pace and you revisit when you need to. All right.
After our call, yeah, I purchased a physical planner. I've been, writing all my stuff in. It's helped me a lot.
Perfect.
Like,
Perfect. Some do physical, some like the virtual, the digital, where you can do repeats. Yeah.
it
I had
helps.
one of my top agents still use a handwritten. Yep. And I have my calendar. I have a basic, this is what I do every week. Repeatable.
That's
Yeah.
good.
All right, guys. See you tomorrow at 2:00.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank
Patty.
you.
Patty,
Until
bye,
then, be
everybody.
well, stay well.